There is a sensor inside your Honda key fob that Honda never explained, never demonstrated at delivery, and never mentioned once in the owner's manual. And that sensor, right now, is sitting in your pocket or your cup holder, doing nothing, because you don't know it's there. I know that because last Tuesday, a Honda Pilot owner came into my shop stranded. She'd been locked out of her car in a parking lot for 45 minutes, waiting on a locksmith she'd already paid $175 to dispatch. When the locksmith finally arrived, I watched him do something with her key fob that took 8 seconds. The locksmith pocketed his money and left. The woman drove home, and she still had no idea what just happened. The locksmith used the sensor, the same one that's been in her fob for 6 years, the same one that is almost certainly in yours. Today I'm going to show you exactly what this sensor is, exactly where it's located, and exactly how to use it, including the specific procedure that most Honda owners never discover until they're standing in a dark parking lot at 10 p.m. wondering why their fob isn't working. And I'm going to show you 2 more things built into your key fob that Honda assumes you'll never need, so they never bother to explain them. By the end of this video, you will never pay a locksmith for a dead key fob again. That's not an exaggeration. That's the exact situation. Let's start with the sensor, the proximity sensor, and the emergency override. Your Honda key fob communicates with your car using a radio frequency signal. Under normal conditions, the fob broadcasts that signal from several feet away and the car detects it. That's how passive entry works. You walk up, touch the door handle, the car recognizes the fob, and it unlocks. But here's what happens when the fob battery dies. The radio signal stops. The car can't detect the fob from a distance. Most Honda owners see that and assume the car is locked out until they either replace the battery or call for help. What they don't know is that the push-button start on your Honda has a secondary proximity sensor built directly into the button itself. Not the door. The button. It's a short-range reader designed to detect the key fob's transponder chip even when the battery is completely dead, but only when the fob is physically touching or within millimeters of the button. Honda built this for one reason: stranding prevention. If your battery dies unexpectedly, you can still start the car. But because it requires the fob to physically contact the button, Honda apparently decided it was too inconvenient to explain to every customer at delivery, so they didn't. Here is the exact procedure. Take your key fob. Flip it over so the Honda logo faces down. Place it directly against the push-button start, center it on the button. You want contact, not proximity. Hold it there. Now press the brake pedal with your foot. With your other hand, press the start button while keeping the fob pressed against it. The car starts. That's it. The short-range sensor reads the transponder chip through direct contact and bypasses the need for the battery-powered radio signal entirely. Honda has never lost a feature, they just hid the backup behind a procedure nobody knows. For the door, because you still need to get into the car before you can start it, your fob also contains a physical backup key. Look for a small release button or slide on the side of the fob. Press and hold it. Pull the key blade out. That physical key opens the driver's door mechanically, with zero electronics required. Dead battery, power failure, doesn't matter. The key works regardless. So the complete dead battery procedure is: slide out the physical key, open the driver's door manually, place the fob against the start button, press the brake, press start. You're in. You're driving. The locksmith stays home. A new key fob battery costs between $3 and $5 at any hardware store and takes about 30 seconds to swap. CR1616 is the most common size. Check your model year's manual for the exact battery number. Replacing it monthly is unnecessary. Most fob batteries last 2 to 4 years. But knowing this override means a dead battery is never an emergency again. It's just an inconvenience you handle in a parking lot in under 2 minutes. The woman with the Pilot paid $175 to have a locksmith do exactly this. You now know how to do it yourself. The window ventilation function. Most Hondas have this and nobody uses it. Your key fob can open all 4 windows simultaneously without you being near the car, on most Honda models built after 2013. Honda built this for a specific reason. If your car has been sitting in direct sunlight for 4 hours, the interior temperature can hit 130 degrees. Walking in and immediately blasting the ACK is less effective than venting the hot air out before you get in. Here is how to activate it on most Honda models. Press and hold the unlock button on your key fob for 3 to 5 seconds. Don't tap it, hold it. On compatible models, all 4 windows drop simultaneously. To close them remotely, press and hold the lock button for 3 to 5 seconds. 2 important notes. First, this feature may need to be activated through Honda's settings menu or by a dealer programming step before it works. Some vehicles have it enabled from the factory, others don't. If you hold the unlock button and nothing happens, it doesn't mean your car lacks the hardware. It may just need to be turned on. Second, this feature is not available on all trim levels or all model years. If you have a 2012 or earlier Honda, assume it's not present. For the vehicles where it works, this is not a gimmick. Walking into a car that's already 30 degrees cooler because you vented it from the parking lot is a genuine quality of life change that costs you nothing and takes 3 seconds. The fob battery warning you're probably ignoring. Your Honda's dashboard will show a low-key fob battery warning before the battery actually dies, typically with a wrench icon or a specific warning message depending on your model year. Most owners see it, think I'll handle that later, and then forget about it until they're standing in the parking lot pressing a fob that won't work. Here is the simple habit. When the warning appears, put a CR2032 or CR1616 battery depending on your model in your glove compartment. Don't install it yet, just put it there. The next time you're at a gas station or a parking lot and have 2 minutes, swap it out. The back of the fob pops open with a coin or a flathead. The battery sits inside a circular slot. Pop the old one out, snap the new one in, close the fob. The reason to keep a spare in the glove box rather than replacing it immediately at home is simple. The warning typically appears 3 to 6 weeks before the battery actually fails. If you replace it at home the same day, you'll forget it happened. If you keep a spare in the car, you'll replace it the next time you have 2 idle minutes, which is exactly when it needs to happen. The battery costs $3. The locksmith visit costs $175. The math is not complicated. The bottom line. Honda engineers designed your key fob with a dead battery override, a ventilation function, and a warning system. 3 tools that solve 3 real problems. None of them are explained at delivery, none of them are obvious from the manual, and all 3 of them cost you $0 once you know how to use them. The proximity sensor override is the one that matters most. Screenshot the procedure. Send this video to every Honda owner you know. At some point in the next 3 years, one of them is going to be standing in a parking lot with a dead fob wondering what to do, and this is the thing they'll need. If this helped you, hit the like button. It takes 1 second, and it helps this video reach Honda owners who are still one dead fob battery away from a $175 locksmith call. And drop your Honda model and year in the comments. I want to know what you're driving. Next video. 7 Honda maintenance habits that are quietly costing you money right now, including one most owners do every single winter that shaves years off the engine. Don't miss it.